Hi, this is Ryan Vincent from City London School for Boys, presenting answers about my product, AI Noise Sensor. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for reviewing my product and your positive remarks. Let me address Michael's question first about how exactly this product will help an environmental manager to do something they can't do with current solutions. Well, the process that has been happening until recently is like this. When there is a complaint about noise nuisance, an environmental manager or a council officer within the environmental health department will authorize the placing of a noise recording device at the complaint's premises. And if offenders are identified, they are issued with a fixed penalty charge or abatement notice. However, the offender can appeal the decision at a magistrate's court, and the council is required to provide a high standard of proof, which my product conveniently provides. Now here's a problem with the high standard of proof with other solution providers. Until a couple of years ago, noise nuisance recorders could measure the decibels and also record actual sounds, which is taken back to the council, and someone could just sit and listen to all of it and determine the offender of the noise pollution. These actual sound recordings worked quite well in courts to provide a high standard of proof. But in 2018, General Data Protection Regulation kicked in, followed by UK's new Data Protection Act that enhanced people's right to privacy. Since then, there have been many cases where judges have thrown out sound recordings which were obtained without the consent of the offender. Also, there were cases where the offender actually sued the council for invading their privacy because the council hid recordings in the neighbours' flats. The offenders hid behind provisions in the Data Protection Act and the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act. Therefore, companies that make noise recorders have been moving away from sound recordings to just measuring the noise intensity and frequency analysis of the noise. Using frequency analysis without AI recognition, they could only make suggestions about the source of noise. High frequency blasts were probably cars honking, mid-range shot bursts were probably dog barking, low frequency long-term rumbling were probably an engine which was idling. These are not really high standards of proof in a court where there is a dispute. Right now, many people may not be aware of their rights under data protection. However, the knowledge is spreading, and noise pollution cases are getting more and more difficult to prove. Councils are losing a battle. This is where my device comes in. Due to machine learning, it can identify the source of sound with a high degree of accuracy without retaining original sound recordings. For example, it can differentiate even between a jackhammer and a drill, which sound very similar, or between a police siren and cars honking. Once I have my device certified for accuracy and by a public authority, I believe it will make a difference in court proceedings to prove cases. I also propose to use my device mainly in non-legal situations such as offices to identify environmental noise, reduce it, and thus enhance productivity. The matter of certification brings me to James's question about the need for my device to be trusted, especially if it is involved in court disputes. I want my device to be certified as a Class 1 measurement device, which means that it is tested and there is a tight tolerance for errors. Class 1 certification is done under IEC standards, the International Electrotechnical Commission. In the UK, the British Standards Institution can assess and certify such devices under the IEC. Well, all of this is a bit expensive, but I hope to get there soon. About Dominic's question on how I plan to distribute my product to customers. Well, initially I thought that I could reach out to councils directly. This is because my dad and I have some connections to the Newham Council, as we are community volunteers there teaching astronomy. But recently, I've been expanding my thoughts on distributing my product. Perhaps I can tie up my technology with a company called Cirrus Research, who supplies noise recorders to over 90 councils across the country. Well, 90 is way bigger than just one council. I could use my core technology, which is the convolutional neural network that I painstakingly trained over several months with several gigabytes of data. And then I could use Cirrus Research's snazzy user interface and graphics, and perhaps their high quality microphones too. Most importantly, they already have several relationships with several clients, and my technology would be an upgrade to their existing deals. Furthermore, I'll address Spencer's question on user journey and the ultimate benefit to the end user. Although my customers are environment health officers in councils or in private block management, the ultimate beneficiaries are residents who are victims of noise nuisance. My device can help their complaints reach resolution effectively by providing a high standard of proof in court. For example, the Westminster Council recently lost a case in the magistrates' courts about a noise prosecution, and the judge scolded the council for not deploying the latest technology to solve this problem. Well, apart from the winning court cases, Once my product becomes known in the market, it can also become a deterrent for noise offenders. Apart from legal actions, I propose to use a swarm of my devices in offices, hospitals, elderly homes, and etc. For example, 20 to 50 of my devices can be plugged into various points of a hospital, and then an environmental wellness manager can analyze the data and figure out if patients are being disturbed by the noises. For example, identify a loud air conditioning unit and then take action to repair it. Another example, getting digital alerts when there's a street music or construction noise coming in through a window of an inpatient ward, so that authorities can be called and put an end to the noise. Another one is that you can enhance productivity in an office by finding sources of noise pollution and then turning them off. All this can be done without affecting people's privacy and confidentiality of organizations. My competitors' devices are not suited to be used in swarms due to their large cost and size and a lack of Wi-Fi connectivity. Ultimately, my devices can contribute to reducing people's stress levels. This will help reduce mental and physical illnesses, including anxiety and cardiovascular diseases, and even diabetes from lack of sleep. And I am sure we are entering a world where AI monitoring technology could help with health, productivity, and law and order, without affecting privacy and confidentiality. Thank you for listening, and once again, thanks for your encouragement.